All right, buckle up, boys, because this is gonna take me a second. The Boys, season 4. It's come, it's gone, and I can't help but feel like I just sat through Game of Thrones season 7. I don't believe that there is any way in hell they can stick the landing in the 5th and final season. But I'm not going to be one of those people that sits there and says, oh, nah, I'm not going to watch it anymore. I'm throwing it away. Nah. I'm 4 seasons deep. Might as well finish it out. But guys, this writing is absolute dog shit. Okay? Like, there is not much of a way to really say it more clear than that. Now, I want to start off with the positive. And it's always going to be the positive, which is why it's so short. Anthony Starr is carrying this show on his back. I mean, his acting in damn near every scene is just like he should teach the art. The ability, the only time that I laughed out loud during the entire season was when he got the titty milk squirted in his face. His reaction was just the funniest shit. All right. That being said, speaking of the titty milk, because basically that's the only real good thing that I have to say about the show is that Anthony Starr. Oh, I'm sorry. And Karl Urban, even though I'm taking a lot of issues with this portrayal of Butcher, but we'll get to it when we get to it. Let's start off with one of my biggest pet peeves. How does everybody and their mother know about Homelander's milk fetish? Like, I know, and I brought this up, and someone said, well, Vought probably has a file or something like that. Cool. I'm sure. But there should be in universe, that's information that I just don't foresee, even Vought having, because when in earlier seasons, when there was an opportunity for someone to catch Homelander with milk, he was very guarded about that. He was very secretive about that. Like when Newman ran up on him in the barn. I mean, yeah, he was very he's very shy and not pretending not to do what it is he was doing. So this was something that he had basically kept to himself. But twice during the season, it's brought up as if it's common knowledge in universe, right? And that's one of those little threads of writing that I'm talking about right here, where all these other seasons, and you know what? Let's hit up on the other seasons as well, because they spent this season repeating a lot of shit. They repeated Homelander coming to grips with his harrowing childhood. I mean, guys, that entire scene, as much as the internet glazed it, I'm just sitting there the entire time wondering, how are all these people still here after 30 years? Right? I mean, even in the earlier scenes when he was dealing with Vogelbaum and he had to go to his house because he'd retired. People move on. People die. Things happen, The exact same staff and crew shouldn't still be there. If you know how anything about how companies work, people get switched out all the time. It's very rare that someone's going to stay in the exact same position, in the exact same place for 30 years. But here we are, right? And even beyond that, Homelander with Ryan, it's so disjointed, right? Homelander, it pops up, I feel, rather infrequently throughout the season. And when it does happen, Anthony, once again, this is where Anthony Starr's ability to act really conveys a lot of what the script fails to do, of what the writing fails to do. Yeah, so yeah, we had Homelander and the and the in the milk situation. We also have Kessler, who, you know, they projected that like throughout the entire season. You know, like it's pretty obvious that Kessler was just a figment of Butcher's imagination. But here's the thing. You got Jeffrey Dean Morgan, you know? I mean, just having him come around and talking this shit, that's cool and all. But I mean, brother, give him a Lucille. Give the brother something to do, give him something to blow up, you know? And I think that's gonna drag us on over to Sister Sage. The absolute worst addition to this series. Why? Because when she speaks, when she acts, when she moves, I feel the writers. I feel as if I am looking in the fishbowl, and in that fishbowl is the writer's room, writing their way around a whole lot of conveniences and contrivances throughout the story. You know, her coming back at the end, oh my goodness, I saw people glazing that shit. I heard people like, oh yeah, it was so great when she came back at the end and what's named and revealed her grand plan, which, guys, I gotta ask, what part of her plan could possibly account for Newman getting ripped in half by Butcher? Comments are open. I would love for anyone to be able to explain this shit to me. And it drives me up a wall, you know? And when it comes to, her being the smartest person, I'm actually going to borrow this argument, because smart people do smart things. If you're really that smart, you know, you're not just sitting in a small room in the middle of Detroit with a whole bunch of books around you. Even though technically to an idiot, that's a smart move, but to an actual smart person, no, you're going to use your intellect to create things and invent things and, you know, make yourself money in some way, shape, or form. You know, you're not going to sit there just destitute and happy alone, even though by the technically it's not completely idiotic if you want to, like, you know, isolate yourself from other people, because as we all know, other people are shit. But in such meager dwellings, you know, it just seems odd, because, like, you know, if you're really just that brilliant, you can come up with a few dollars. You can scrape together $1 or $2. But yeah, A-Train, they're slow walking a lot of these storylines, right? Like they're slow walking A-Train. Black Noir. Okay, so when he killed Black Noir last season, and then I saw him in the promos for the upcoming season, I was under the impression that they were gonna slyly slip, you know, Homelander in there, like the Homelander clone as it is in the comic books. But no, it's just another guy, another super, and he's wacky and has a personality, and he studied at Juilliard and all these other things that really, why? I mean, I get the comedic relief angle. I get what you were going for, but I think that's a part of the problem. It doesn't feel authentic. And the reason I think all of this drives me towards the idea, one second. All of this drives me towards the idea or the feeling like I just watched Game of Thrones season 7, is that you're so far removed. These writers are so far removed from the source material that it's going to be very, very interesting to see how, if they can or are able to stick this landing. You know, like that's going to be a very interesting thing. That's one to be one of the things that I'm looking for. Like even with the what was it? The V chickens. They had V chickens in this season, and apparently this was something that they were really hyped for, and it just did nothing but remind me of the ice polar bears on Game of Thrones, right? Where they were so hyped about the ice polar bears. And then there's a lot of like, vulgarity. And guys, if you are familiar with my content, or you're familiar with my personality at all, I never shy away from vulgarity or wild shit. I love wild shit. Wild shit is what I get up in the morning for. But particularly when it comes to entertainment, when it comes to stories, you'd like to think that it's gonna go somewhere. Like you want there to be context behind it. You want it to be meaningful gore, meaningful, saying depravity and debauchery, right? Like we want it to actually be something of substance. But unfortunately, I mean, it's just there for shock and awe, and the story that they're underpinning, that they're putting underneath it, that they're lining it all up with. Where the fuck is it going? Like where the hell is it going? But I guess we'll see. I guess we'll figure it all. I guess we'll see how they try to stick this landing next season. But I don't think they can. I'm not 100% sure that the writers that they have on this, who have been, the writers for the entire show. Okay. Yeah. The political stuff. Why did it feel the earlier season when they had A-Train break up the riot for as a parody of that Pepsi commercial with Kendall Jenner? Like, why did that feel like a more authentic riot than the one between the Starlighters and the Homelanders? And it's supposed to represent Trump and all this other just nonsense that you don't know. When you were playing it a little bit more subtle, top notch. But this stuff, it's way too overt, and it's terribly written. I don't have a problem with harpooning, modern day politics by any stretch of the imagination. I don't like none of the asses, but can it be just like with the gore, just like with everything else? It should feel like it's leading towards something good, something amazing, and I'm not getting that. And like I said earlier, you guys are so far removed from the source material that like you've pushed the soup takeover thing, but there's a lot of pieces that just aren't in place. And oh my god, speaking of pieces that aren't in place, I hate Huey Campbell. Huey Campbell is the worst fucking character in fiction. He is such a bitch. He is such a cunty little bitch. This man was SA'd twice in the season. And the first time it was there with the web weaver stuff. I mean, it was shock for shock value. And the other time it was this really gross chick that was playing his girlfriend, and his girlfriend gets mad at him, Starlight, who Starlight looks so weird now, man. I mean, all that makeup, and not makeup, but the plastic surgery, it does not work. It's not hot by any stretch of the imagination. But oh my goodness, I have to stay young, quote unquote, young looking. And it's like, nah, that is not the wave. Because, I mean, she could not emote to save her life. And crazy part is that the only time she was pretty, like, she gave half a decent performance was when she was pretending to be when she was a dude dressed as a dude playing another dude, right? when the shapeshifter had taken over and she's sitting there smashing Huey and she's like, how many times did we do it? Like 20. Oh, you were just so horny. I'm just like, yo, like it's like 20 times in like a week or so. I was like, yo, like you ain't been giving my man pussy like that? Like the fuck? And you mad at him? Stewie, I mean, not Stewie, Huey, why are you still with this bitch? Bitch, why are you still with Huey? Cause like, yo, like my man has just been sexually abused and sitting there talking about pegging and getting your butthole played with. And fellas, we've had this conversation before, but I will reiterate, I will stand on this shit. Yes, it's gay, even if a chick does it. Alright, getting your butthole played with is gay as fuck. Alright, plain and simple. Sorry, hate to break it to you. It is what it is. That's a conversation between you and God. Leave me out of it. But guys, I'm telling you, the writing has been really, really contrived, really bad. And though, and oh yeah, they pulled their move, and so they were able to snatch up all the boys, right, and take off Frenchie and knock out Mother's Milk, and I don't care. I don't care. I genuinely don't. I'm literally watching just to complete it. That's just to see how bad they fuck up this ending. I'm not sure there are a lot of ways that you can end this story. See, hold on, right there. Right there. You see, Homelander is kind of like, oh, yeah, I was just drinking the milk. I don't want to see that I was drinking the milk. Da, 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 da. You know what I'm saying? Like, how, like, if this was something he was guarded about, he should not, you know what I'm saying? Like, this should not be well-known in-universe information. Plain and simple. But no. I mean, like, they decided, hey, we got a popular show, and just like they did with Star Wars, just like these commie weirdos did with Marvel, just like these commie weirdos do with everything that gets popular. They come in, infiltrate, take over, usually via women, and freaking and drive it directly into a fucking wall. So guys, with that being said, ooh, wow, 16, damn near 17 minutes just ranting about this shit, huh? That being said, what did you think of The Boys season 4? Do you think they can stick this landing? Because I have my sincerest and realest doubts, okay? And overall, I mean, like, what did you think of the show? What do you think of the show? I think, like, once again, the first couple of seasons, I mean, particularly the first season was amazing. Second, third season, I believe this scene right here is from the second season. I mean, and it just shows that cruelty, that Anthony Starr, hell of an actor, man. Hell of an actor. This is your show. You are carrying this shit, because I don't think this show would get anywhere near the praise if you and Karl Urban weren't doing the insane amount of lifting that you're doing, guys. All right. So you guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. You know, I mean, what do you think about this compared to the comic book? I haven't read the comic book, but I've seen enough content based around the comic book to basically know how the entire comic book plays out. And I mean, do you agree how that they've strayed so far from the source material that they've painted themselves in a corner that, you know, all the sister sages and contrived ass characters in the world can't pluck them out of? Or do you think they got this? You know, you think, I mean, let me know your theories and everything else like that down in the comment section. All right, boys, till next one.